Okay, sit yourself onto your left and come into a good cross-legged position. Let's have a little wriggle about. Hold onto your knees and elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Focus on filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. And emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just focusing on the feeling of the lungs as they expand and relax. Hold on to, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together. And then close your eyes. Allow your eyes to gently close. And focus on continuing to fill the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Again, feeling the lungs expand for the in-breath and contract for the out-breath. Draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in your heart area. Release the backs of your hands down to the knees. Palms facing upwards, bringing the tips of the index finger together with the tips of the thumbs. And then release your head, raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. Hold on to your knees and elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Just observing how your body responds to the pose. Keeping the seat bones level by maintaining that balance of the seat bones by keeping the torso directly between the two hips. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, and then turn to the left. then gently come back to the centre. Come off your lift and then sit back on your heels for Adho Mukha Virasana. Have the big toes together, your knees apart. So you've got space between your knees for your chest to come through. Push the shins into the floor. Lift up into the chest and then come forwards. Hitting back into your seat bones. Lifting the chest. Spreading the palms. And then extending your arms away. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Feeling that the back can stretch out a little. Then come up onto your knees, turn your toes under and come up into dog down. Tighten the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Just focus on the sound of the inhalation, the sound of the exhalation, listening to the breath. Filling your lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just using the pose to see where your body is in 3 dimensions. And then step or jump your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. If you feel that your back is a little stiff this morning, then come into half uttanasana with the blocks. So you come forwards and bring your hands into the blocks. Otherwise, we're going to go into full uttanasana. So have your feet as wide apart as the mat for either pose. Feet as wide apart as the mat. Toes in line with each other. Have the outside edge of your feet touching the edge of the mat. Raise your arms, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbows, and then come forwards, hinging at the hips. If you are doing half uttanasana, then release your hands down to the blocks. Otherwise, let the body hang down. But in this pose of uttanasana, the action has to come from the legs. If the legs don't do anything, if the legs aren't straight, then there's no real access into the spine, there's no extension. And we can just let the spine kind of hang down to the floor, but that depends deeply on tightened kneecaps. Lifting the thigh muscles up to the top of the leg, lifting the shin bones out of the ankle socket, lifting the bones, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the thighs, all the way up into the hip socket. So you're gathering them up. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, letting the upper body hang down. Or using a half uttanasana if that feels better for your back. Release the hands down to the floor. Bring your hands into your hips and then bend the knees on the way up if you need to. Come up into Tadasana. Just come up into standing. Spreading the toes. So if you remember yesterday, we were working on lengthening the feet. So with the feet together, one foot at a time, pick up the heel and try and stretch the heel away from the toes. Try and make your feet longer by stretching the toes. And then come up into Tadasana. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Lengthening the feet. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn your left toes in and your right leg and foot all the way out. So it's no coincidence that we nearly always do trikonasana first, because it's all about just bringing the attention into the legs. But let's bring the attention into the feet. So try and lengthen the toes away from the heels. And this back foot, press the neck of the big toe into the floor and stretch out into the little toe. So you bring the little toe side down firmly, turning this leg out. And then with the other leg, pick up the heel, lengthen the toes so that the feet really spread. Face the front. Keep your left hand on your hip and then reach over and find your shin. And then just turn that top shoulder towards the wall behind you. Keep the toes spreading. Keep the outside edge of that left foot firmly on the floor. Draw the abdomen from the floor to the ceiling, drawing that top shoulder towards the back of the room. Turn the fronts of the thighs outwards and then reach up. Just breathing from the bottom of the lungs to the top. From the top of the lungs to the bottom with the out breath. So I run out of ceiling height a little, so it's actually better for me to just keep this hand on the shoulder. Reach up, come back to the centre, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. Again, stamping the neck of the big toe of the back foot in, stretching into the little toe. Spread the toes. Put your right hand on your hip, reach over and find the shin. And then just keep rotating the top shoulder towards the back of the room. Keep the outside edge of the feet really consciously pressing into the floor. So you're turning the fronts of the thighs from the big toe side to the little toe side. Lengthening the spine as you go. And then reach up. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So it clears out the sinuses when you look up in this direction. Keep the feet stamping onto the floor. Suck from the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, into the hips, up into the spine, out into the arms, into the head. Just everyone bring that top hand back onto the hip and then draw that top shoulder towards the wall behind you. Keep rotating that top shoulder back. Okay, reach down, bend the knee, bring your hand on the big toe side, the left hand on the other side, and then turn that back leg and then step yourself back into dog down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Push the heels away from the toes and feel how that action really makes you activate the kneecaps. Push the heels consciously away from the toes. It activates the shins, pushing the shins away from the floor, away from the body. Push the thighs in the same direction, the fronts of the thighs to the backs of the thighs. Maybe see if you can bring your heels down a little lower, but as soon as those creases appear between the shins and the feet, then you've gone down too low. Keep stretching the heels deeply away from the toes. That's the key to this. Okay, and then come down onto your knees, sit back on your heels, and just observe the energy that you have released. And then come forwards into Adho Mukha virasana. Pushing the seat bones back down onto the heels, lengthening into the hands. Bring the palms underneath the shoulders and then just sit yourself up. Sit yourself back onto your heels, lifting up into your chest. Just elevating the heart area upwards. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, from here we're going to come up onto all fours. Just come up on, and then come up onto your knees. And then stretch the toes away from the knees. So we're going to do parivrtta, parsvakonasana. So just balancing on your heels. You can put extra cushioning underneath to start off with, but just lift up into the heart area. And then bend the right leg and bring it forwards. I think I'm going to go around mat length there. I'm going to come forward. And then you bring your left hand across onto that right knee, and then bring the other hand onto the small of the back, and then turn. So we're turning across. We're crossing the chest over the knee. Lifting up into the head. Lengthening the spine upwards. And then reach down and bring the elbow onto the outer side of the knee, and then reach down to the floor. Now if you can't reach the floor, you can just get a block, put your hand underneath the block or on top of the block. Keep turning the chest, and then turn your toes under, and then straighten that back leg, turning the chest, rotating the chest, and then if you can, you reach up and over. And then release the arm, bring the hand onto the back, bring the knee back onto the floor, and then just sit back on your heels. So quite intense Quite an intense turn. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, just getting your breath back. So the block on the other side if you used it. And then come back up onto your knees and bring your left foot forwards. So I'm just going to swap around so I'm not turning my back to you. So lift up and turn. So bring the right hand across to the left, across the outside of the left knee. Bring the other hand into the small of the back, and then draw the abdomen across. Lengthen into the spine. Press the knee into the floor, lift up into the chest. And then come forward. Bring the outer elbow into the outer knee. And then reach down. Keep the other hand in the small of the back. And then turn your toes under. And then straighten that back leg. Keep the length from the foot into the chest. Draw in that top shoulder all the way around to the back of the room. And then if you can reach the arm up. I've run out of ceiling height here. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, and then bend the knee, uncoil, and then come back down onto the floor. So a pose you don't do very often, we should do it more, but a good, really deep energizer, just come back into Adho Mukha Virasana, just stretching out the spine. So that's coming into the pose from the floor. You usually do it just from standing, just from the beginning of normal parsvakonasana. But doing it from the floor gives you a little more balance, a little more access into the spine and into the turn. So it's a good method just for learning the pose. Push your hands underneath your shoulders and then lift yourself up. Just sitting back on your heels. Just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, observing the energy you have released through your practice so far. Pressing the shins into the floor, lifting up into the heart area, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And then come down onto your back for supta baddha konasana. Just rest in your back, just realigning your spine. After that deep turn, that deep parivrtta, just letting the feet press together and just softening the arch of the lumbar, drawing the abdomen to the spine, turning the tailbone in slightly. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then bring your knees in toward your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then just rock yourself up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs for a moment. Cross legs with your hands on your knees, lifting up into the chest. So just staying in cross legs. Lifting up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring a block either side of the hips for sukhasana. And again, elevate the heart area upwards. So this should be in cross legs more than half padmasana. Just reach underneath the the right knee, and then bring the elbow down onto the block, just making sure that this elbow is directly underneath the shoulder. Bring the left hand onto the hip, and then just observe the balance of your seat bones. It's going to be very right buttock bone centric. So consciously push from the shoulder down into the elbow, and from the elbow across into the left seat bone. So you bring balance into, or more balance into the seat bones. Try and really stamp that left seat bone down. So you start to lengthen down the side of the trunk. Turn the chest up to face the ceiling, turn the top shoulder towards the back of the room. Keep pressing that elbow into the floor, into the block, and lengthening across. And then reach up and over. Just feel that tremendous stretch along the left side of the torso. Keep pressing that left buttock bone down. The more you get it down, the more satisfying a stretch you get. So keep the seat bones as level as you can. Look underneath the armpit. Again, a good sinus clearer. Nothing to do with your armpit, by the way. Just the position of the head. And then reach back and come back to the center. So again, holding onto your knees, lifting up into the chest. Just feeling the difference in the sides of the torso. Reach underneath the left knee with the left elbow. Bring that left knee, reach underneath the left knee with the left hand. The left elbow directly underneath the shoulder. And then just start to turn. Push that elbow into the floor, stretch across into that right seat bone. So press the elbow into the block and bring levelness into the seat bones. And then reach up and over, turning the abdomen away from the floor. Reaching up and over, keeping that top arm straight. Feeling that tremendous stretch along the right side of the torso, keeping that right seat bone down as much as you possibly can to intensify that turn. And then gently come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Just listen to the breath. And then bring your legs wide apart. So stretch them forwards and then bring the legs wide for upavistha konasana. Now if you feel like you roll back like this, then just sit yourself on a folded blanket so that you can roll onto the front edge of your seat bones. Your hands at the sides of the hips, and then roll onto the front edge of the seat bones, lifting up into the chest. Extend consciously from the hips into the heels, pulling the toes towards the kneecaps. Keeping the backs of the knees down on the floor. Lift up into your chest, and then raise your arms up to the ceiling. Keeping the shoulders down away from your ears. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just feel how much you can lift the chest or not. Keep your arms straight, keep them parallel, spread the fingers, spread the palm. And release your arms down. If you can reach a belt, grab your belt. And then this time we're going to raise our arms over our head, but with the belt kind of firmly between the hands. So get the belt between your hands, and then just give yourself some distance. Pull against the belt really hard, like you want to tear the belt apart, and feel how much more you can lift up into the spine. Keep the legs rotating like you're doing Tadasana, turning the fronts of the thighs from the little toe side to the big toe side. Drawing the inner knees down to the floor, lifting up into the chest, pulling firmly on the belt, lifting the heart area up to the ceiling. And then gently release the belt, and then bring the hands just back to the sides. Just feel the energy in your shoulders and in your arms. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then just get hold of the backs of the knees and bring the feet into baddha konasana. Hold on to the big toes and lift up into the chest. Elevating the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Feel where you're sitting on your seat bones, and if you're sitting on the back edge of your seat bones and you can't roll forwards onto the front edge of the seat bones, then sit on a lift, sit on a folded blanket or a block. Lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards. Push the heels together consciously. Have the little toe side of the foot pressing together firmly, and lengthen from the inner knees, from the inner groin, into the inner groin, from the inner groin into the inner knees, from the inner knees around to the outer knees, from the outer knees down into the feet. Lifting up into the chest. Lengthening from the inner heels, along the inner calves, to the inner knees, round towards the outer knees and up towards the hip, along the outer thighs. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, just feeling that the legs are working in that figure of 8 action. The inner groin to the inner knee, to the outer knee, to the outer calf, into the outer heel, and the inner heel along the inner calf to the inner knee, to the outer knee, and along the outer thigh up into the hip. Just focusing on that connection. Lifting the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. And then release and just stretch your legs out in front. And come into dandasana. Just stretching your legs away. Have the inner toes together. Turn the legs inwards, tighten the kneecaps, turn the backs of the thighs outwards, lift up into the chest. If you've got that belt handy again, get hold of the belt, just have it shoulder width apart, and then raise it over your head. Again, pull in firmly on the belt. Rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones, keeping those legs firmly activated. What normally wants to happen is that they want to roll out. So keep them rolling in. Keep the fronts of the thighs rolling in. And then gently release. Come down onto, so come back into cross legs and lift up into the chest. Elevate the heart area upwards. And then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs and your shoulders. And then come back to the centre, hold onto your knees. And then turn to the left. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then come back to the centre. Okay, we're going to come down onto our backs and just pull the feet in towards the seat bones and just guide yourself down onto the floor. Guide your back down onto the floor. Just resting for a moment, but pressing the feet consciously into the floor, turning the tailbone in a little so that the lumbar softens into the ground. And then bring your right knee in towards the chest. Keep the left foot where it is. Bring that right knee into the chest, flexing the right heel. So for supta, kapotasana, the reclining pigeon pose. Okay, bring the right foot across the top of the left foot. So bring the right foot on top of the left foot, left thigh. Bring it across the top of the left thigh. If you can, bring the heel into the inner pelvic bone. Hold on to that right foot with your left hand, and then just initially lengthen the knee and the thigh as far away from the body as you can, just lengthening it without pushing with the hand. And then let that knee just relax for a second, that right knee, and just point up to the ceiling. So keep the foot where it is, and then get hold of interlock your fingers behind the back of the left knee, and then draw the left knee in towards the chest. Lengthen the sacrum spine down to the floor, the tailbone down to the floor, flexing that left heel. So the more you can lengthen the sacrum down onto the floor, the more deep the pose becomes. Try and get the tailbone down onto the floor, but pull the left knee in towards the chest so you stretch the hamstrings and the glutes of the right leg. And then gently bring that left foot down onto the floor, uncross the right foot and bring the feet close to the seat bones. Just spend a moment relaxing, with the feet pressing into the floor, the lumbar pressing into the floor. And then bring the left knee in towards the chest. So interlock the fingers around the front of the left knee and pull it in towards the chest. Flexing that left heel. Pulling the knee in towards the chest. And then cross the left foot across the top of the right thigh. Get hold of that left foot with the right hand. And then gently encourage that left knee to stretch away from the body. Keeping the left heel in the inner pelvic bone on the right side if you can. And then just relax that knee, just allowing the knee to point towards the ceiling. Keep the foot where it is, the left foot where it is. Interlock your fingers behind the back of the right knee, and then pull the right knee in towards the chest, lengthening the sacrum down to the floor, the tailbone down to the floor. But keep pulling that knee in towards the chest and continuing to lengthen into the sacrum area. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Okay, and then gently release the leg, uncross the foot, and then just stretch your legs along the floor, just resting down into the floor for a moment, letting the body just rest into the floor. If you've got a cushion or a bolster handy, then lift up the seat bones and slide the bolster or the cushion underneath your back, underneath your lower back, the sacrum area. Bend your knees and then lift your legs up to the ceiling. Come onto the tops of the shoulders. Viparita, karanhi, breathing into the pose. So of course you're going to breathe into the pose. If you don't breathe, you're going to die, but that's not what I mean. So you breathe deeply in through the nose, really consciously filling the lungs. Really consciously filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Okay, and then bend your knees, bring your feet back down onto the floor. Just move the bolster or the cushion away. Just pull your knees in towards your chest, have a little rock from side to side, and then sit yourself up for a moment. Get a folded blanket for your head. Just making sure it's evenly folded, and then guide yourself down onto the floor in a really good straight line. Just allow the body to relax. Let the feet fall apart. Consciously unhook the muscles of the legs and the arms from your bones. Let the physical body become heavy. Just letting the physical body become heavy on the ground. As you allow the body to become heavy on the ground, observe the feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles, spreading positive energy into the muscles, radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Letting the energy of the breath spread into the toes and into the fingertips and all the way up into the top of the head. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Hug the knees to the chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg. Come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in Namaste, a final spinal lift. Drawing your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. And then draw your chin forwards and down to meet the chest. Spending a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside around the heart area. And then sending some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel like you've really stretched yourself out and really lifted your morning energy. So thank you very much for joining me.